we're getting this worked out. We're kind of enjoying this. It seems pretty neat. We're trying to be transparent with everybody here. So we've actually got some of the people from the members area in the Whiz Sales System that are going to share their experiences with you. They're live on the call. We're going to let them. We can ask them some questions. We're gonna grill them and find out exactly what they did to have so much success coming right out of the gate. So, Brian, are you with me? Let's check your audio real quick.
Yeah, hey Sid, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well today. I'm excited. Wrapping up the week, so I'm excited to talk to. It looks like we got a great panel. We got Jay and we have Lisa, and then we have the two Steves, right? Steve Johnson and Steve.
Yep, we got 4 out of 5 that we attempted, so I think that's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yep. But we've got a lot of people that I'm curious to ask. Man, what are you doing a little different now? Some of them got some proprietary stuff, but they're going to tell you exactly what they did to get started and why. How did they, what was the experience like? But Steve Johnson, I hung out with Steve in Denver. You remember Denver? I forgot what we were there for, Brian. The Limp Group 2 years ago. And then we also hung out. I hung out with Steve while I was in Vegas for my birthday. If those of you have been with me long enough remember that, Steve flew in with a couple of his friends. It was a birthday for them too, and we had a good time and got to know each other. The guy's a hammer. I'm glad that I got to meet him. Sometimes we reach out to each other and help out each other out. Hiccups in our local businesses. But hey, Steve, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, so I'm just going to I just want to kind of do an interview real quick and just ask, and shoot me straight. I want 100%, transparency here. I want people to take something away from this that's going to help them get over the hump, or if they had a question, or let them understand that certainty that I talk about all the time in the trainings. Steve, tell me what. So were you on the call when you hooked up, and tell me what happened?
On the call when I hooked up for
Whiz Sales Systems.
You know what? I wasn't on the call. I ended up hearing about it afterwards, I think, and then I saw like a replay. And okay. I've got a background in phone sales. I've done a lot of it. I had mentioned at one point that I've got like 180,000 hand dials. And nice. One of the things that really hit me about it was, I understand that at the end of the day, if you know your numbers, it works out, right? As long as you can do those numbers. But I could never make 10,000 dials in a month. When I had several guys calling just for me, just setting appointments for me, they weren't making 10,000 dials. And so I was like, you know what? Let's do this. I mean, I think I hooked up with you afterwards, and I'm like, hey, this is going to work out. You guys are going to do 10,000 calls, right? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So,
yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's the deal.
That's right. You sent me a Facebook message. I remember now. Yep.
And so,
Very cool.
I mean, it took a little bit actually to get started. I'm not going to lie. It's the process to from a technical perspective was just new to me. I'm not good at following directions at all, man. Like my wife puts stuff together, not me. I break stuff. So. So once I got on the phone, talked to Lena and Jessica out there in Vegas, and they set it up. They said, hey, press this button. I mean, I don't think I even do half the stuff right now, but it works. So, I mean, I'm the busiest I've ever been. This time of year is usually pretty slow for me. Contractors in Minnesota don't do a whole lot in the winter. And this thing is, I'm as busy as I can be. I'm working like a solid 4 hours a day.
What's a typical day, Steve? How many people do you talk to? How many business owners? Heck with calls being made. How many conversations or do you have?
Yeah, so the way that I do it when I sit down and do it is I put like an hour aside. I don't do it every day. I can't do it every day. It's too much. And again, I might not be doing it right, but when I sit down to do it, I turn it on, I put it at like 6,000 and wait for the thing to beep at me and pause it. And I'm talking to a couple of people in the 20 or so minutes that I'm actually running it during a day. That's how I end up running it. It's making so many phone calls. It's leaving a couple hundred messages in doing that. And then I leave my voicemail number, like my cell phone number, because I'm not in the office all day. I'm all over the place. Whether I'm out screwing around or actually working, I'm oftentimes not in the office. in front of the computer. I have it come back to my cell phone. One run usually keeps me busy for 2 or 3 days with return phone calls. The cool thing is that the people tend to know what it is I'm calling about. They know why they're calling me, and they have interest. I'm getting like 10 to 15% of them probably are normally calling back from the voicemail that it leaves, and they're warm. They already know why they're calling me. I mean, it's like one of the easiest sales I've ever made. It's kind of funny. I mean, at one point I posted in the group that, is this for real? I mean, I can literally run 6,000, or I mean, I don't know if 6,000 an hour. Theoretically, I could. I haven't gone a whole hour because I start getting inundated with calls coming back already. So I turn it off. The most I've probably run in a session is like 1,500. But the reality is I'm getting people calling back. Some niches you get more callbacks than others, but they're calling back and they're open. They want to know, yeah, I'd like to take on some more jobs. What can you do for me?
Steve,
some of them it closes. Some of it, go ahead.
Steve, are you running? So are you split testing niches? Are you going after multiple niches there, or did you start with one niche and now you're with something else, or?
Yeah, I started with my tried and true with the junk cars. And that, I mean, that was crazy. That's the numbers for that are different than the numbers for HVAC and plumbers and stuff. They just are. It's these guys. They want business. They are willing to try stuff out. And I hesitate to say this because I don't want everyone jumping on the bandwagon with it, right? But the deal is like I can't even keep up with them. I had a guy that I talked to a week ago and didn't have time to follow up with him after I got the contract out. Or I left him one message maybe. He calls me this morning and says, "Hey, I'm faxing over that contract. Can we get started today?" Like I didn't even have to follow up. It's just unlike anything I've seen.
But you already. Hey, Brian or Nikki was telling me that whole deal. Are you doing one that's doing something like 2,000 a week or something big? There's a pretty large one.
Yeah, I've got one client that we're doing 150 is kind of a small week for him. 150 calls. So
wait a minute, Steve. I want to clarify for everybody listening because I don't think they have the same context we do. So you're saying one of your clients that you sold using Whiz, you're generating 150 leads for their business a week.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's phenomenal, man. Okay.
So, it worked
nice.
out. We do a lot of posting for it. Don't get me wrong. That's not 3 posts a day. But we own the market, and it's generating a lot.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about some of these junk cars. It's it's a sub $10 lead, but man, when you're getting that kind of, I mean, you're definitely making 400% or 500% compared to what your outsourcing costs.
Yeah, and the reality is that at $5 a piece, it's just not hard. You think about it. Are you really going to go after a $5 industry? Well, if you do the volume, yeah, all day long.
So 150 calls, Steve, at $5 each every week, huh?
Yeah. I'll pull it up and see what we're sitting at right now. Give me a quick second.
No problem. While Steve's doing this, guys, while he's pulling it up, I'm gonna ask him, Steve. I already know the answer is you've already closed some deals. Have you closed more than one deal so far with Whiz?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So 44, 42, 22, 28, 4.
Those are daily numbers. Nice.
Those are the last 7 days. I have them split across 6 numbers. So there's 30, 74 plus 42 is 100.
Brian, the client's national. He's going
a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's so these are. This is good. I mean, there's a lot of calls, and the reality is that I don't really have to do much for it.
Yeah, but be honest. So when somebody calls in, it's a lot different than when you call out and you go, hey, will you take the drill out of the mouth? You got to talk to me, or that guy, hey, get off the phone. I'm going to show you a way to get more junk cars. It's hard. You're in a position of inferiority when you walk in and doing a cold call. But when this thing finds the people to call you, it does give you a little bit more added advantage. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, take a look at it. So I've sold B2B in a corporate environment, right, over the phone, with a daily average being like 50 calls a day. That's what they wanted us to make. And it took a lot because someone's picking up the phone almost every time.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time. It doesn't mean that they're actually doing business with you or even talking about it. But so someone's picking up the phone. You're maybe talking to 5 people a day that are legit people that you can even pitch to. That's not people who are interested. That's just people who are qualified and were there. They're breathing. This
Yeah.
allows you to be able to not have to talk to the other 90 or percent of people, whatever it is, the other 44 people throughout the day.
Yep.
You can only focus on those 6, and you can do it much faster.
Yeah, and it takes the
It
monotony
just
out.
makes sense. Oh yeah.
Right.
I think
Yep.
some people may have a little bit of a, I don't know, they might not feel real great about the idea of it being, oh well, it's an automated call. The reality is you're saving everybody time. You're saving the guy who's picking up on the other side because he can just hang up. But if he's interested, he can go ahead and hit one and talk to you, and you're saving yourself a ton of time. These people, sooner or later you're going to get yelled at. That's how it works, Some guy's going to be having a bad day and whatever. But the reality is I got yelled at when I was cold calling at 50 a day, and I'm getting yelled at less.
I get yelled at, and I don't even cold call.
So, I mean, it's just having a background, having made all these calls before, this is too easy not to do.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
I love it,
Put it
man.
on, press the button, talk to people. It's that easy.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're having success with it, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right, cool. All right, next we're gonna have a lot of you in the group are well, maybe you're not in the group, but if you're in the group, you've seen this guy. This guy came out of nowhere. He sounds like a baseball announcer, right? But he's just really a cool guy, man. I've talked with him several times on the phone, Brian. This is the Steve Webb, Steve Wynn, but he goes by Steve Webb in the group, and he's the one that came out with that monster $2,000 upfront, $2,000, $100 a lead, 20 leads. So let's talk to him and see if he can kind of shed some light on everybody.
Awesome. Steve, can you hear us?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey.
What's
glad
happening,
to have
buddy?
you here.
Doing quite well. Making calls as we speak.
There
Where
you
are
go.
you located?
You're in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where they have the pita pit that I was raving about that we ate that one time, Brian. But anyways,
I remember.
Yep, love that place. So tell me your experience, Steve. Tell us about when you guys signed up. It took you a little bit of time to get the system to work, but you called in, you got into support, and they walked you through it.
Yeah. Once we got everything set up, there's a lot of moving parts, and that's part of what makes it so great. But once that's all set up, it's pretty nice. It's just kind of press the button and make some money.
Steve, what's some of your background? What did you do? What kind of business were you in before you became an entrepreneur or started your own local market?
Wow. People say that I've done everything. I've sold vacuums door to door.
I was about to say, when did you sell vacuums? At what age?
Well, that was college, so however old you are in college, I don't know.
If anybody sold vacuums, you'll respect this. Tell them how long you sold vacuums in college.
Yeah, it was a couple years.
But because that was Brian, it was the only thing he could find that would pay him good enough that he had the time to make as much money as he needed. You know what I mean? So it was like his back was against the wall. It's amazing when the water's deep, you'll swim. And so he even sold vacuums and made a 2-year career out of it. Which I'm going to tell you, you can count on one hand probably who can do that within 100 miles of you. That's awesome. So Steve, tell me. So when you got out of college, what kind of career did you go after?
I was in IT, and I worked at the phone company, and I managed the entire state of Wisconsin.
Oh wow, cheese curds.
That's right.
Heck yeah, man. All right, and then yep.
Steve, let me ask you, how long did it take you from when you started to you sold your first deal, from when you actually started calling to you sold your first deal?
That's a great question. I started the thing up, and in my infinite wisdom, I kind of let it run maybe a hair too long, and I wound up with 90 voicemails.
Wait a minute. So let me phrase that for everybody listening. So 90 people responded to your offer and said, hey, I'm interested, I think I want to hear more, and obviously that's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, it was a little bit. So I immediately hired someone to call all those people back. She's, working right now and answering live calls as we speak, and so she's been going through all those calls. But it took her a while to get through all those. And so how long since that was started up and made the first sale? It was a few days. Maybe 3 days. To make the first sale once that was started.
Now, Syd, is this, or Syd or Steve, you sold a $2,000 sale, is that right?
Yeah, so it's $2,000 to join and then $100 per referral.
Wow, that's brilliant. Totally brilliant. So,
Brian,
how many...
Sid,
go ahead.
Takes a little bit of a different, yeah, he takes a little bit of cool, right? And when I was working with him and on the hotline, I was like, man, I can't argue with you, because he's like, Sid, he goes, if people don't have skin in the game, they're not going to have any commitment in the long run. Now, this is a guy who sold vacuums for 2 years, so I'm going to listen to a little bit about a commitment here, right? Yeah. He's got my ear, and he's right. He's exactly right. I mean, I can understand that. I mean, how many times have we comped anybody or did a favor and it helped, it worked for us on the back end? It never does. You give somebody something free or hook somebody up or give them a trial or any of that stuff, it just never does what it's supposed to do. But somebody commits and they see value and understand business costs money, no brainer, right?
Yeah,
$2,000.
Yeah, 2 days ago I just sold another one, and so I've spoken with 6 people, and of those 6 people I've sold 2.
That's great. So, wow.
I'm okay with that.
33%. That's not bad. I'd be okay too.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Are you holding your price point, Steve, at $2,000, or have you had to come off that?
I'm holding it. I could have sold the other 4, but I only want to work with people that are going to be, lifelong customers. So, not really looking for somebody to kind of test drive it. I'm looking for somebody that wants to stay forever.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Whoa, man, that's amazing. So, how long have you been in local marketing? How long have you had an agency?
Since '98.
Have you? And I'm asking. I know we haven't had these questions beforehand, so none of this is loaded. But have you ever seen anything that literally can overwhelm you on the sales side so fast? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely not. We do a lot with online lead gen, obviously, and squeeze pages and all that sort of thing, and absolutely not. I mean, you're getting somebody that's interested right now. You're getting them on the phone, and you get to talk to them right away.
Great. What do you think, Syd? Anything else for Steve?
I think it's awesome, man. Interested enough to press 1 and listen to and listen to the system the way it works. I mean, that's a qualified client if you ask me.
Exactly.
I'm a proud papa here. Can you tell, Brian? I wish I could even take claim. We worked a little bit just on the structure of his pitch, but I did by no means talk him into this mindset that he's got cracking down $2,000 clients. I love it, man.
He's hardcore. Anybody? I had a friend who sold vacuum cleaners, back in 90 or 91 for all of 2 weeks, Steve. I don't know how he made it. So, Steve, do you mind sharing? You don't have to be very specific, but at least in generalities, what niches are you working? Are you in the service industry? Are you in insurance, mortgage, finance, lawyers, dentists, et cetera?
Just roofing.
Just roofing. Okay, super. Yeah, I'm getting feedback already. I see them coming across my phone. People asking. That's great.
Yep. Hey, Brian. Now I know. Now I think about it. I know why he's charging $2,000 a client. That's how much he's been selling his vacuums for all that time.
I was thinking the same thing. Aren't those $2,000 units, right? Yeah.
He never discounted them. They're like 23 something. He wouldn't do it.
No, I sold those for $2,500, and my cost was $500.
There you go.
Wow.
Nice. Well, hey, you got to get paid in college. That's good money. So. Awesome, man. Hey, thank you so much, Steve, for spending a little bit of time with us and sharing that with everybody. I know it's going to help a lot of the members, and it feels good to pay it forward, especially around Christmas like this. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Miss Lisa Curry. Miss Lisa Curry, I'm going to give you a little bit of background real quick. She's been with us for over 2 years, actually. She was with me in my automotive. I've talked to her a couple times before. She she had a hard time. She got hit hard in an 8 and had to recover from that in her business. And she's just looking for the right fit. And I'll let her tell you if she's found it or not. But this girl is committed. She's structured. She she had her children in staying at home because she couldn't afford to put them in daycare at that point. And then I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because I'm going to let Lisa talk about it. But I am glowing with excitement, proud of Lisa for committing and sticking to it. And she's definitely not a quitter. And you know what I always say, be too dumb to quit, right? And everybody laughs at me about that, but Lisa's just made it happen, and she has faith, and that's why she is where she is right now. Lisa, you closed a deal and won one of our sales contests, didn't you?
I did. I was just so I think I remember telling you, Sid. I was like, oh, I thought I was just gonna get like an Amazon gift card for like a couple of bucks, but that was fantastic. But yes, yeah, I've been with you, Sid, and Brian for a couple. One thing I knew about Sid is that I could always, if I really, really needed to talk with someone, I knew I could talk with Sid. And I actually, a couple of months ago, had to let go of the automotive because I had became ill, and I literally lost my clients that I had. And I was like, okay, I got to find some help here. And when Whiz came, at first I didn't do it because I'm thinking, oh God, here we go, yet another system. But I asked Sid. I had gotten a payment, and I said, I think I sent you an email, Sid, and I said, Sid, is this worth it? Should I take my payment and go back to automotive, or should I do Whiz? And you said Whiz is a no-brainer. We can go back to automotive. And as soon as I did that, again, just like everyone else said, it takes a minute to get set up. You do have to have a little patience, but Mark and the crew are very, very helpful. And I had actually dealt with that system before, meaning I had used that exact same system, but I used it for MLM a couple of years ago. So I was very familiar with the system. I was very familiar with the whole point of making lots of dials. Sure. And when I said, oh, wow, and I remember thinking when I first started in the local scene that, wow, what if I could do what I did before, but there was nothing out there. And then, lo and behold, my prayers are answered. Whiz comes, and sure enough, I made so much money initially because I understood the whole premise of it because I had done it before, that I was like, wow. And I've had people making dials, just like I think Steve Johnson said. I've had people making dials before, but I knew that in order to get to my goal, I needed to make more dials. But I mean, I knew that was impossible until Whiz, and it's just it's been a godsend ever since.
Let me ask you guys. Sid, one thing Lisa just said is, and I think a lot of people will feel what you said. You said you've been involved in a lot of programs, and I'm not asking you to name anybody's program or anything like that, but have you ever seen anything else? And we haven't had this discussion. Have you ever seen anything else that is truly done exactly what it claims to do and actually generate you the results on the front end on the sales side?
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think, for those who are in the group or will become in the group, you'll be able to look at my comments because I don't want to mention names, but a lot of the big names that anyone has heard of, I have been and paid for to be in. I've done all kinds of stuff. I've sent stuff in the mail. I've sent dollars in the mail. We've done, I've done the trash can.
That only sounds like it should work.
But by far, no one has done what for Whiz. Yeah, as they say, I'm a lifer. I'm a lifer for this, and I just can't see how anyone else. If you literally can just turn on and get a client. I have literally decided, because before I had outsourcers. That's my little one you might hear. But before I had outsourcers, and I really didn't need to put my kids, one of them is in school and the other one was in daycare. I really didn't need to put them in daycare because I had the outsourcers, and I would work around, schedule and stuff. But I literally, because I can turn on a dial and make calls and be on the phone, I literally put my son, my littlest one, in daycare just so that I can make these calls and get deals. So, I mean,
I love it.
It's been incredible.
So I got to ask you, and I bet Syd knows, but Lisa, so from when you actually got set up and got started, I know you won that sales contest literally the first day of the contest, but how long did it take you to close your first deal?
It took me just 3 days. Just 3 days. From okay, my little.
That's okay. We all got days.
Yeah, it took me 3 days from getting it set up to doing the dials, and then I was like, oh my God. And I mean, just like, some of the ones who spoken, I didn't even have to do anything. I followed the script, gave him the information. He sent me the email and was like, hey, I signed the paper. I actually sent him, I didn't even expect it. I sent him like a draft. I was like, oh, this is just like a draft contract. Don't worry about signing it. He was like, I'm signed it. I'm ready to pay you. Please take my money. He calls me ma'am.
It never happens, does it? Please take my money.
Right.
That's hilarious.
He was like, ma'am, just take my money. You're better than all the other people I've spoken to. And I'm just,
Now, Lisa, you're using our fulfillment recommendation, aren't you?
Yep, I am.
Nick?
I am using Nick. I love Nick.
Okay.
And we actually are working it out together. Nick, one thing I'll say about Nick is that, again, I have dealt with other big names, and they have fulfillment engines as well, ways you can do fulfillment. And the benefit of, doing it with the Whiz fulfillment is that Nick's going to make it right. If there's something that needs to happen, he wants it to be made happen. He wants to make it happen, as opposed to, again, I've dealt with other fulfillment before. Like, well, then that's just what it is. Well, it's not producing me the results. I've had this conversation with other fulfillment, and they're just like, well, that's what it is, or you can, you can pay for another $500 more, but and then you get into the whole thing where you didn't fully understand what it is what you were getting. But I love it where he will do what's necessary to make it right.
Right. Yeah, he's a super guy.
Or you all the way on the other side of the world. Nick's right here in the U.S. So.
Yeah, and he knows.
He
knows what to do, and he knows, how to get it done. And he's happy. Yeah. He's a happy guy.
Listen, the reason when Syd first introduced me a few years ago to Nick, and I started using him as a resource, immediately for me, what jumped out is it was like he became a partner in that client for me. He cared enough that he took it on the chin or on his shoulder and said, God, I'm going to carry some of the load. And when it's not good, like you said, he's going to double down or do what it takes to change that. Because it's not always perfect. I wish it was, but it never is.
Right. Well, Brian, just to let you know, I think I told Syd, one of the things that Nick said was my niche, or my guy, or the guy that I got when I first came, is a garage door. And I live in the D.C. metropolitan area, and he's the guy's in the area. So Nick said he had a friend that if he needed me, he would actually have his friend break his garage door. Just so. That's dedication.
That sounds like Nick, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly something Nick would say, actually.
That's super. Well, Syd, anything else? This is awesome. Lisa, thank you for sharing that, and we appreciate you being candid and just speaking from the heart. Syd, what do you think?
No, that was awesome, man. That was very good, man. Very, very, very good. Well, Lisa, thank you so much. And I'm proud of you. And I know you're not done. The sky's the limit for what you're about to show us in the next few months after we get past these holidays. I wish holidays were required to be on the weekend myself. But
we all do.
Anyways, I like to work. Yep.
Well, last but not least,
Brian,
I have one of our favorites, Syd.
Yep, I have one more who a good guy. I I spoke to him first when we were out in New Jersey, in person or whatever, not just over the line. But this guy, man, he's just a go-getter, man. He hustles, he moves forward. He's always trying to climb the mountain. He's not gonna lay down. He's another guy just too dumb to quit. And he said, Sid, I'm gonna have to do 5 deals to make this even make sense. And so I said, well, let's go. Let's get started. Let's make sure your message is right and your flow is right. And let's let him tell you what his experience. Jay, you with us?
Can you hear me?
Mr. Jay Lane, how you doing, sir?
Doing very well. How are you, sir?
Nice. Doing awesome always.
Good.
Give me your experience when you got in. I know you were you didn't wait around for nobody to call you. You're on the spot, right? I mean, you made it happen. You got up and running. I talked with you when we were between clients out of town. Me and Brian both were up there talking with the Ford CEO guy, our CFO. Tell me what you thought whenever you first got started.
Well, let me just start by saying, first of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it very much. You guys are doing an awesome job, you and Brian and Mark.
Thank you.
And so I want to get that out of the way. Make sure we give thanks to you guys for getting this whole thing going. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here right now. So much appreciated. So I can relate a little bit to Steve Webb. I didn't necessarily sell vacuum cleaners, but I did work for a company where it was based solely on cold calls. It was B2B, and we went into places on a cold call basis and sold deals of $5,000 and up, on the spot, one call close.
Nice.
So that kind of gave me, a good feel for sales, how to close deals, and I think it helped prepare me for this in a lot of ways because this is so much easier. But I think if I hadn't had that first, it wouldn't be as easy as it is here because this is way easier than that was. So if you can sell vacuum cleaners or sell what I was selling, cold call, then it makes this so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did can you give us? You don't have to give us necessarily the exact niche because I know you're working in some pretty special stuff. But can you tell us what kind of amounts were your first deals?
Yeah, my first deal. Well, I can tell you, my first deal was with a plumber, and that came just within a day or so after getting into Whiz. And that was a deal where I had a nice setup fee, charging $35, $40 per lead, and that's just happened to be a local customer for me too, which made it even nicer. So I've been able to meet with that guy, and we're getting ready to go into SEO campaign, Facebook campaign, and so forth. So got it up so right away with that guy.
So did you, Jay? Did you start lead gen, and then you're now selling additional services going from here forward?
Yeah, started out with lead gen, did that for a few weeks. He liked it. We changed the program a little bit, made a little adjustment, and then he asked me, "What else do you do?" I said, "Good question." So we started talking about some of the upsells I could offer him. He was real excited about Facebook, SEO, so we set up a meet, and that's actually in process right now.
So, Jay, let me ask you, so you said it was a couple days after you joined, you closed your first deal, which was a plumber. Have you closed any other deals or just that one now? You've been around probably a month and a half, I think.
Yeah, no, we've probably closed about 8 to 10 deals so far.
Wow. I knew you had a bunch. I wasn't sure, but 8 to 10, that's more than I thought. So congratulations, man. That's phenomenal.
We've got 3 more working right now, and I think the thing about the Whiz system is that it makes the prospecting easy because the prospects come to you versus my old way of knocking on doors. So when the prospects come to you, I would rather have one guy calling me than going out knocking on 25 doors. I mean, the difference is dramatic for sure. And I find that people are. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, no, I hear you good.
Okay,
Yes.
good. I find that it takes a little bit of a learning curve to get going. I think once you get into the flow of the calls and you understand the whole principle of being all things to all people, and you're just relatable, you know when to talk, you know when to shut up, you know when to close. I mean, these people are calling you because they're looking for more business. So we've got the cookie, we've got the answer, and I think the thing that makes me the most excited about Whiz versus everything else I've done, I know I just talked about an upsell, but for the most part, my excitement about Whiz is it takes me out of the fulfillment business. The thing that sort of drugged me down over the years was fulfilling, and being on the hook for the fulfillment side. Now I can make the sales and not be concerned about the fulfillment because the fulfillment's going to be covered by Nick or whoever else I use. So I can just go out there and burn free and sell like crazy, and I know my customers are going to be taken care of because that's the one thing they care about is results. And if I know the results are taken care of, that is huge. That makes all the difference in the world.
Let me ask you, how many, if you had to guess on a week when you're actually selling and you're using the system, how many people do you talk to? Is it 5 or 6, or is it a bigger number?
Good question. I would say I'm a little bit like Steve Johnson in that area, that I typically get so many calls coming in, I got to turn the dialer off because I only want to get so many people stacked up, it becomes hard to follow up. So I probably have the dialer on average maybe an hour and a half a day. And then after that, I have so much business happening, paperwork, follow up, emailing Nick, et cetera, et cetera. Because I think the secret to success is great customer service. And if you can't provide great customer service to the people you sign up, you're going to lose them quickly. So I'd rather have 10 or 15 people I'm taking care of really well than 40 people I can't take care of and they all quit. So you've got to have the back end in place as well. It's just not all about making the initial sale. It's also about the follow up. Does that make sense?
I love it.
Oh, it does,
man. It makes perfect clear sense. Well, thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate you sharing all that with us. I know you're a contender in the group. Now we've got a sales contest going on month too, so I think a few of you candidates are pretty close here in the group. I won't tell you what the
Syd, I think everybody on the call here are all in contention.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So I'd like to see it, Brian. So they're going to give us some results. They're going to a lot of people. I asked them to submit some results. They're going to give us some results. We'll give them a midway catch up of what's going on at on the 15th. So in 3 days, look for kind of where everybody's at. Then you can hunker down, go see your family. But one of you is going to close some deals and close more deals than the other one, and get some extra cashola.
I'll be working up to midnight on Christmas Eve.
I love it, man.
I love it, Jay. Thanks for
place.
everything. We appreciate your support, so thank you.
Yep. Brian, man, if you can't tell, I mean, I'm proud of these people. I mean, they've they all have a pretty good background in sales, but not everybody had the 100% certainty when they called in. They were a little reluctant. They were scared. They were questionable. But we answered the questions and we got them set up, and maybe even they had to call twice, but my phone's on, the hotline's on, so it's available for them, and they use it, and I don't blame them. I would use it too. So we're able to get people up and changing their business. I mean, you saw where Big Steve Johnson said, "Man, I'm changing my whole business model now." It reminds me of when you chose that too at one point, Brian. You remember when you chose, "Man, what am I doing? The auto is the way to go," right?
I did.
Yep. So seeing somebody get wide-eyed or having that, man, this is cool. Man, that's cool because you don't see much of that anymore, especially your old man like me. Don't got no kids. I don't get to see anybody get excited anymore. These are my kids.
Well,
so I love it when I see somebody kind of cross that barrier.
Well, Syd, one thing, kind of as we wrap this call up, it's not just this 4 or 5 guests that came on today. There's dozens and dozens of people that are closing deals. Some more than others, but that's to be expected. But I just love seeing so many people successful. It's exciting for me. I feel the same way as you do.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, I was pretty confident in most of the. I wouldn't try and do it in 2 days in an event like we have. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and if there's any way I can help or answer any questions, I think they know I'm available. So, I want to tell everybody thank you so much for spending an hour with us, or however long you've been with us here, and I know you got families and stuff, so get to your families and go hug your kid's neck, and have a great weekend. Thank you for sharing that to help other people. It's paying it forward, and I like it when people do that.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for being here, and Syd, thanks for setting it up. Everybody, have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Bye, guys.
thank you.
Take care, guys.
Yes, sir.